Hey guys, my name is Matsumio, and today we've gotten our very first look at the second operator coming to Rainbow Six Siege called Maestro. Now, a lot of us assumed that he was essentially going to be Tachanka 2.0. In a leak a while back, we learned that he was going to have access to some sort of auto turret, but what it now sounds like is that he's going to be more of a mix between Echo and Twitch. The reasons why I say this is that if you watch the trailer, he's peering at his camera, he presses a button, and then it sounds like someone out in the distance gets shocked. The other reason why I say this is that in his description, they state that he is an addition to the Intel gameplay family, and his expertise lies in blocking access to key locations. Now, I will admit that based off the trailer itself, it's difficult to tell how his gadget is going to perform, but if we also use the image that you guys are seeing right now, the description that they give us briefly, and the leaks that we learned about, which have all been true so far, things become a bit more illuminating. If I had to guess, the gadget that he is standing so proudly by, it really does look like a proud father standing next to his son. That thing is basically going to be indestructible. According to the leak, when he's not using his gadget, it goes into a defensive mode where apparently it becomes immune to damage. Now, there might be a few exceptions here. Maybe if you throw a nade at it or use Ash's charge, you're going to be able to take it down. But from the sounds of it, it's going to be a very durable gadget. Where things get a bit confusing, though, is his ability to shock the enemy. Not only in the leak did it indicate that he could shock someone, but that's exactly what it appears like it's going to be able to do in the trailer, but how is that going to function in reality? If this thing needs to be in this defensive mode, inactive, as soon as you shock someone, it's not in that defensive mode anymore, and they can immediately take it down. If this is meant to be an intelligence gathering operator like Valkyrie and Echo, for example, just like those operators, you don't want your gadget taken out because as soon as you do, you lose that camera. You no longer have any idea what's going on in that area. That is something that you absolutely want to avoid. And so as soon as you shock someone, you let everyone know in the vicinity that they can take that thing out now. So why in the world would you want to do that? And so if I had to take a guess, this is going to be like the new cameras that we're getting, the indestructible cameras, but better. So it will have the shock value, but the main reason why you would want to use it is basically just to have something down a long hallway that the enemy can't take out. You may not want to use its offensive capabilities, but it's there, but the main reason is basically just to gather information. The other idea I had is that because in the description it states that he specializes as a defender to deny access to certain areas of the map, this could either mean that by placing his gadget in a long hallway, offense isn't going to want to push down that long hallway because it's an indestructible camera. You don't want to push down that hallway because defense knows that you're pushing from that angle, or it could also mean that this is a way to take out specific gadgets. If you know that offense is going to try to make their way through a reinforced wall, well, instead of just allowing them to do so, place Maestro's gadget right next to said reinforced wall. As soon as Thermite tries to blow it up with one of his charges, just zap it out before it detonates. That's going to deny them that access, which is exactly what it states in his description. The one problem with this idea, though, is that Maestro is going to be very obvious. This isn't like an Echo where it's stealth. Like, it's going to be down on the ground in the middle of a room. It's going to be very obvious that it's there. If you know that this is outside of one of these reinforced walls, all you would need to do is tell your Thatcher buddy, hey, watch this as I'm planting it, and as soon as Maestro activates the turret to try to take out my gadget, just take it down. Yeah, we might lose one of our charges, but we have one left, and it's not really going to be all that big of a deal. And so once again, I'm not exactly sure how the shock is going to come into play. Another idea that I've heard bounced around is that instead of this being a shock gadget, it functions more like Capitão's incendiary bolts. You guys all know Capitão is one of the best operators at denying access, just like the description states, and so instead of trying to shock gadgets, maybe the entire concept is to launch incendiary something in a doorway, making it really difficult for offense to push on through. Kind of the way that smoke works, but in a slightly different way. Now, this theory has some credibility, and I can see where they're coming from. In the trailer, he's messing around with a lighter, so it seems like maybe he likes fire. It also seems like he's got dragon breath rounds on his uniform, and so maybe his gadget also has something to do with fire. It's kind of hard to say. The reason why I'm not really sold on this idea, though, is that if you watch the trailer, it sounds like he's shocking someone. It doesn't sound like anything else. And if we also base it off of the leaks, that would be a pretty big deviation. All in all, though, I cannot wait to see how this gadget works in action. I love having more intelligence gathering operators introduced in the game. Valkyrie is one of my favorites, and the fact that not only is Echo getting a buff, he's now getting 2 drones, so that's going to be another option, but it also looks like Maestro is going to fit into that category, which makes me really excited. I'm not sure how the shock or how that's all going to fit into it, but I cannot wait to see that reveal on May 20th. Another thing I'm really excited about with the reveal is what weapons he's going to have available to him. In the Alibi trailer, we get a glimpse as to what weapons she's going to have access to, but we don't really get any clues with this little teaser trailer. In the leak, we learned that he was going to be able to use an LMG, which would be the first defender in Rainbow Six Siege that had access to that type of weapon. Now, a lot of people might not be too thrilled by an LMG on defense because they're not really useful on offense, but that could be the thing that actually makes LMGs viable. If offense needs to push the objective at the last couple of seconds, if you need to run through a Maestro that is just laying into a long hallway, that may not be an easy task. And so while once again that is just a leak, I'm really also curious to see what kind of weapons he's gonna have available to him. Yeah guys, that is about it for today's little video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Maestro. Do you think I'm onto something with the way that he's going to work? Do you think that his gadget is gonna have some other functionality? Let me know down below in the comments. But yeah guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.